Hi, everybody. Just letting everybody get on. Here we go. Everybody's joining us. This is awesome. Okay, how do I get back to the other screen? There we go. Hi. Hello. Hi, everybody. I know we're going to talk about some things today that you're not going to want to hear. Senate Bill 547 is proceeding through the system. If you're not familiar with Senate Bill 547, you need to be. No joke. They're trying to repeal Costa-Hawkins. What this would do, just so you understand, yes, I think it's 567, Geraldo. I have to look. 547? Might be 547. It's 567. They're trying to repeal Costa-Hawkins. What does that mean to us? It means that we can no longer move back into our own house and kick them out. We can no longer kick them out so a family member can come in. We can no longer kick them out so we can sell. It's a nasty little burger, and I'm going to tell you guys to contact everybody you can. Donate to the PAC. This one's nasty. Nasty, nasty. Because here's my opinion, okay? If you have no control over your own investment rental property and you can't move in, you can't have a family member move in, you can't get them out to sell it, we don't need this to pass. We need this to go quietly into the night. Also, the security deposits has been approved still, and it's still climbing through the system. So they haven't announced it as being law yet. However, it is proceeding through the Judiciary Committee. Loveliness. Hi, Victor. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about today? Other than the monstrosity of our government and what they're doing to us and how they're not helping, they're making it worse. But what do I know? I'm just a blonde. Please be mindful of that and keep that in your arsenal of things that we need to be cautious with moving forward. Also, if you are renting a vacant unit or in the process of renting a vacant unit, please collect as much security deposit as the law allows. Simply said, on a fully furnished, it's 3 times. On an unfurnished, it's 2 times the amount of the rent. And on someone active military, it's 1 month's rent. Fill up your buckets while the grunion are running. They don't run forever. Okay? And if you collect a high security deposit today and you move them in today and that law changes tomorrow, you're grandfathered in. You don't have to return the half of the security deposit you collected just because the law changed. You're grandfathered in, okay? So that's why I'm saying fill up your buckets now while the grunion are running, because they're not going to run forever. The likelihood of that passing is actually very high. No joke. So I've been telling you guys, collect as much security deposit as the law will allow for as long as you can, because we're gonna lose that one. And I've been watching it diligently. And we've been dealing with this for almost 5 months now, watching it go through the system. Because I started watching it in February when it was announced. So hello. All right, I see chatting. Hang on, I'm going to go find it. I hate it when they update apps and everything moves. The government talk is endless. Yes, Melanie, they're actually trying to pass federal rent control across the nation currently. After listing my unit, I received a call from a potential tenant. We call those applicants, okay? It was on a recorded line. I think it was the county. It could be. I'm getting a lot of responses. Am I obligated to reply to them? Most have bad credit scores. No, you're not required to answer every ad that contacts you. Want me to say it again? You are not required to respond to every ad that contacts you. If they start with, I have really crappy credit and I'm looking for a place to live, keep going, take the next one in line, okay? Don't waste your time. And if you're stopping to listen to somebody's story as to why you should rent to them, I got a story for you. Understand? Does that make sense? If they don't meet your criteria, don't rent to them. If they have a story as to why they don't meet your criteria, run with your hair on fire. Okay? Make sense? You only have a fiduciary duty obligation to respond to the people that physically are standing in front of you, handing you an application. You can't possibly return all the phone calls. You can't possibly answer all the emails, especially in an inundated scenario. So don't panic. Answer what you can, deal with what you can. If they're starting it with a story at hello, it's probably a nightmare. Okay? That's just me trying to give you a heads up. Larso, we're evicting a tenant with fast evict. Thank you. We appreciate your business. And filing for a default as tenant didn't respond. Forgot to ask how long for lockout. I think you said sheriff's taking a long time. Okay, what city is it in? And oh, it's Larso. Never mind. Sheriff's taken about 25 to 45 days in Larso. The slowdown I saw with the sheriff at 84 days for a lockout was in the city of Gardena. They have since picked that up. Okay. Now we're having problems with lockouts in San Bernardino County because, for lack of a better way, and in case you didn't know, remember that big Russia hacked into all these databases and all these entities, blah, 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 and there's this big cyber thing? Yeah, that hit the sheriff's department in San Bernardino County. So it wiped out everything in their computer system and they're having to do everything by hand. No joke. So be patient if you have a lockout in San Bernardino County. Call your legal counsel, have them call the sheriff. I did this yesterday and they put us right at the top because I was complaining because, hey, you've had this since the 5th of June. Where's my lockout? So be patient if you're in San Bernardino County with sheriff. Right now, they're having an issue because they were hacked by Russia several months ago. It's still not up and running yet. They are still doing everything by hand. So bear with them, okay? Who would have thought, right? And what benefit does that help anybody? It's just a pain in the butt. Sorry. I don't like it, but LA has picked up on sheriff and they've picked up on court cases. There I am. We're actually seeing everything coming a lot faster. So here's what I could tell you about slowdowns right now, okay? San Diego County is going slower than molasses. Even on an uncontested case, you're looking at 6 months. No joke. San Diego County closed their other courthouse, and now everything goes to the main courthouse in the city of San Diego. Everything for the county goes through that courthouse in the city of San Diego. And they're having trouble keeping up with the supply and demand. That is the best way I could describe it to you. Their court system is freaking inundated and they cannot keep up. So San Diego's a nightmare. LA's picking back up. We don't have those big issues. We still have a bit of a delay with the sheriff, but not as bad. San Bernardino County was really hit hard by that cyber attack from Russia. As far as the sheriff's department goes. And forgive me, I'm having a hot flash. I'm melting from the inside out. What happens? Whew, the weather doesn't help either. Sorry. You may see me dump my ice water on my forehead in a minute. Can you tell I'm melting? I have a fan on me. I'm trying, folks. If all of a sudden my hair's stuck to my head, you'll know what's happening. I am human. Ooh, and it is hot. Also, LARSO, I've just been told tenants smoking marijuana inside the apartment. Tenants moving out next month anyway. Do I say something? I'm asking my person for proof when she gets in today. You guys want to know the easiest way to catch somebody smoking pot or smoking cigarettes in a unit? Because it's easy. You want to know how you catch them? And when I tell you this, you'll go, oh my God, that's so easy. Hang on, I'm letting somebody in the waiting room. Okay, are you ready? This is how you catch somebody or can prove that Melanie, you stop. Maybe Patty's told you before. Go change the AC filter. And this time when you change it, take a Sharpie marker with you and write the date that you put the new filter in. Go back 30 days later, pull out that ugly, nasty filter, put it in a freaking trash bag, hold it as evidence, and give them a new one and write the date on it again. You're welcome. Puts a whole new meaning to dates, times, and witnesses when you show up in a courthouse with it sealed in a trash bag and ask the judge if he wants to smell it. That easy, okay? I actually don't think that I'm weird. Well, you guys all know I'm weird. Tenant moved out of a property and there were dog pee stains all over the carpet. I knew it was going to be a battle because she tried to tell me she didn't have a dog. And I couldn't prove that she did because she was savvy. But when she moved out, guess what? The person that lived there prior to her moving in was the owner's father, and they replaced the carpet. So the carpet and pad was brand new for this tenant. And I knew she was going to challenge me when I charged her to replace the carpeting and the padding and the subfloor, saying that she didn't have a pet. Okay? Guess what I did? When my carpet people ripped up the carpeting and pulled it back so you can see those huge stains, not only did I take pictures, I cut out pieces of the stained, stinky, nasty, gross carpet, and I put it in a Ziploc bag. Then I had to put it in another Ziploc bag. So when she tried to sue me in small claims court for the carpeting and the padding expenses, I showed up not only with photographs, but also with the carpet and padding in Ziploc bags and handed them to the judge and asked him if he'd like to smell them. He didn't open the bag. The reality is, it doesn't matter if she had a pet or if she was the one peeing on the floor, it was still damage caused during her tenancy, and she was fully responsible. See how that worked? Not just photographs. When you know you're going to be challenged, and come on, you guys, we know when we're going to be challenged. Sometimes we know, okay? When you know you're going to be challenged, inundate the court with evidence, physical evidence. That's my mindset. So if I can bring a piece of stinky carpet and stinky padding, along with documentation from the vendors, along with photographs, I know I'm going to be smiling pretty at the end of the day. Yes, I won the court case. Just so you guys know, I've only lost 2 in my lifetime. I'm not bragging, I'm explaining something to you. If you don't have a rock solid case In other words, the tenant owes 2 months rent. I served them a 3-day notice. They didn't pay in 3 days. They didn't try to pay in 10 days, and they didn't try to pay in 20 days. I'm going to file eviction, and I'm going to be rocking and rolling, and I'm going to stand firm by my beliefs because I did everything proper. If you're going to evict somebody and you're telling yourself, I don't know how this is going to go, I don't know if all my ducks are lined up, my question is, why are you spending the money? If you're not certain that you're going to be successful, why waste the time and the money? There's something I started saying here at the law firm because I understand in some instances it's a battle. So what I'll tell an owner is it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That means I have a solid case. I know I have a solid case. I'm not concerned about anything. The tenant may ask for a trial by jury. They may do all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, it's a matter of when you get your house back, not if. Okay. So my theory is in the event you know the tenant is going to try to sue you to get their deposit back, have backup for everything that you're going to charge them for. Photographs would be backup. Invoices would be the actual expense. So we need invoices, photographs. And if you have the opportunity to obtain actual physical material from the property, I suggest you do so. I have a drawer in my office, and it's called Things Found in Toilets. No joke. Okay. So tenants call, say the toilet's backed up, it's not working, blah, blah, blah. Send the plumber out there. The plumber tells me, Patty, there's something jammed in the toilet. I have to replace the toilet. I can't break it free with the snake. Okay, no problem. Do me a favor. Replace the toilet and bring me whatever's jammed in there. It was a little angel figurine that was on the back of the toilet. Obviously, they knocked it in the toilet as the toilet was flushing, and that caused the problem. I now named it the Poop Angel. And it is still sitting in a drawer in my office called Things Found in Toilets. I have pens, like writing pens. Worst thing ever to have in a toilet is a drinking straw, just so you know. That is the worst thing a tenant could ever flush down a toilet. So if you're pissed at your ex, I'm just kidding. A drinking straw is the worst thing to ever flush down a toilet, other than instant cement, obviously. So what happens with the drinking straws? They're pretty long, right? 8, 9 inches, right? So they go in so far and then they get stuck. Okay, they get hung up somewhere. What happens is toilet paper comes there and gets stuck on the straw. Eventually it backs up. They snake it and they basically knock a hole in the toilet paper. It goes right through. And then this happens every time something solid comes through the toilet. They end up chasing it forever before they find it. I know, because I had it happen to me. Okay. A drinking straw or a handful of them down the toilet is very, very, very bad. It's a nightmare. The other thing that's really bad to have to deal with in a toilet, believe it or not, is a large potato. I'm waiting for somebody to say, why is a large potato a bad thing to flush down the toilet? And why would somebody do that? Well, hear me out. The potato goes down the toilet, down the powers that be. It hits a bend, a crease, a curve, whatever, and it gets stuck. It gets lodged in there. Water, toilet paper, tissue, nothing will pass through that, right? So they come in and they snake a hole in it, in the potato. And this is how I found it was a potato, is part of the potato came back on the end of the snake. Now what happens is the plumber flushes the toilet and it flushes just fine until toilet paper goes through there, and then you're dealing with a backup again. And then they poke another hole in the potato. So then it's how many times can they poke the potato before they knock the potato through and fix the problem? Ooh, yuck. No, it was my person, and I told her exactly to put it in a bag because I knew that's what you would tell me to do. I'm learning. Even if they're vaping. Tony, if they're vaping, you can't pull it out of there. It doesn't show up anywhere. And quite frankly, usually if they're vaping, it doesn't stink, it doesn't smell, it doesn't leave a nasty residue in the house. And that's just me talking out loud. But smoking is a form of, or I'm sorry, vaping is a form of smoking. So if you see them doing it, then you can utilize that against them. But proving that they're vaping, a whole different set of facts. So that's the one you need to watch. I saw them vaping in their unit. They're vaping in the courtyard. They're vaping in the common area. But vaping is much harder to prove because it's much harder to smell. It's much harder to see those residues. So yeah, okay. Vaping's more difficult. What about those where there is no AC and you can smell it when you walk in? Talk to them about it. It appears that you're smoking in your unit. I can smell it. And then dates, times, and witnesses. And as nicely as I could say this, watch what you say to them. Okay? Watch what you say to them. And hear me out. I hate when I drop a potato in the toilet. Yeah, me too, right? Well, there's people in the waiting room. My bad. I feel so bad. I'm sorry you guys were in the waiting room. I didn't know. I got you back now. Okay, hold on. I was going to tell you guys something. Be careful when you talk to them about smelling it and you don't have a way to prove it, okay? Like an AC filter. And the reason I say that is the first thing that they're going to say if it's marijuana that they're smoking is that they have a doctor's note. I need you on high alert here because they have a doctor's note to use marijuana. I guarantee you they don't have a doctor's note to smoke marijuana. That is their interpretation. Read the doctor's note. It says use marijuana. It doesn't say smoke it. And I'm being very specific, and there's a reason why. No medical doctor in the nation is going to prescribe a tenant, or anyone for that matter, a prescription to inhale a carcinogen. It is not going to happen. They may give them a prescription to use marijuana, but that doesn't mean they can smoke it in the property. Okay? Even if they have a medical card, first thing they're going to do, oh, you're smoking in your unit. Oh, I have a medical card. Okay, but that says you can use marijuana and you're in violation of your lease by smoking here in the property. You can have a doctor's note that you can use it, but you can use it in a cream form. You can eat it. You can take it in a pill. You can do all kinds of things, but we don't allow smoking in this community or at this property or whatever. So you're in violation of your written rental contract. There's going to be damages that are caused by you smoking in this unit that you're going to be responsible for paying for. And I highly suggest you guys educate yourself on third-hand smoke. Okay, not second-hand smoke, third-hand smoke. There is such a thing. Okay, so let me explain it to you like this. We all know second-hand smoke is caused from the smoke and someone inhaling it. Third-hand smoke, let me give you guys an idea of what that is so you understand. You rented a property, somebody lived there, they lived there for 6 months, they smoked in the unit. Now somebody else comes and moves in. You've cleaned it all up, you've painted, and you've replaced the carpet, but you didn't clear out the AC unit. And you didn't clear out something else. And the residue on the wall is emitting, it's sending out whenever it feels like it, smoke residue and particles. It can do it up to 10 years later. That is third-hand smoke. Okay? And something you could be responsible for. So you got to be cautious with third-hand smoke. No joke. All right. Are we done talking about smoking in a unit and how you catch them? You're going to have dates, times, and witnesses if there's no filtration system inside the unit, and you can always get statements from neighboring residents. That helps tremendously, just so you guys know, especially if they have children or they don't want to be exposed to it, blah, 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 blah. And remember, you can talk to your tenants that are smoking about secondhand smoke, third-hand smoke, yada, yada. Okay? Educate them. Does anybody have anything else? If you guys missed the AGLA webinar yesterday, it was all about documentation and keeping documents and keeping your logs and writing things down and making sure you guys are documenting everything. So very important that we remember to do that, okay? Document, document, document. Even if they just called you and said, hey, I was just calling to tell you have a great 4th of July holiday. I know nobody calls you to tell you those things. Write that down. Why? Because you never know when the tenant's going to say, check my phone records. I called you 6 times and you still haven't fixed this. But each time she called you, she never told you about a repair. Watch yourself. That's why I used an activity log. I just jot down the gist of the conversation. It's a quick 2-sentence note, nothing else. But that quick 2-sentence note may save your asset. Okay, I see stuff coming through. Oh, thank you, Arlene. I try to do a good webinar whenever I do. Larceau, second tenant in eviction was fast evict, and she filed a motion to quash. As she claims she didn't receive our 3-day conform to hearing date just for October 5th. We're going to advance the motion. Yep. Okay, so anytime anybody files an ex parte notification, and let me say this, Melanie, this is a stalling tactic because they didn't file an answer timely. They want to file an answer, and this is how they do it. They use a technicality to get to file an answer. Okay. I hope that makes sense. And then they set that ex parte hearing out for maybe 2 months from now. No joke. Okay. The tenant goes, watch this. She's going to have to wait 2 months for that court hearing. We can advance the ex parte motion. Instead of it being 2 months from now, it'll be heard next week. You're welcome. Try again, tenant, but it will give them 5 days to file an answer. I can almost guarantee you. So they'll deny their motion, say that they were served, and then give them 5 days to file an answer. And I can almost guarantee you the answer is already filled out and they'll hand it over to the court right then and there. Does that make sense? They're doing it by design. Well, you know me, Melanie, I tell you like it is, and I don't sugarcoat it. That way you don't get upset with me. Yes, it's by design and it's being allowed. Do you want to know why? They're the majority of voters. 79% in the state of California is made up by tenants. And that was in 2018 before we opened our borders. Being allowed, you got to remember, it's not that it's being allowed. They're the majority. We're the minority. If tenants are allowed to lie, are we? No. Because we lived in an effed up state. It's all because of Newsom. No joke. No joke. And he's trying to run our country. All right, I heard somebody unmute themselves and then they muted again because I started yakking. So who wanted to ask me something?
I did. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
Hi. I just recently, well, 2 months ago, started with a company called Appfolio, where everybody
Yes,
pays. Oh, you're familiar with Appfolio. Am I supposed to give the tenants, every tenant, something in writing that we're going to switch over to this new system? No?
No, no. You don't have to tell them anything.
So they just start paying the rent through the app, and that's just the way it goes.
No, you can send a courtesy notice that you now have online payments available, and this is how they set up their portal.
Okay.
You still have to offer them a way to pay the rent that doesn't cost them any money.
It doesn't cost any money to make the e-check.
Okay, and that's fine, but they can still bring a check into your office?
No, not really.
You need to see if Appfolio is charging on their end.
No, they're not. Not for
Okay, what if they have a money order?
No, we don't accept. They can go to it's called Pay Near Me, which is attached with Appfolio, and they can go make a cash payment at 7-Eleven, Walmart, and it just, but there is a fee for that. The same as if it would be as a fee for a money order.
I'm just making sure that your tenant has a way to pay the rent that doesn't charge them a fee.
Yes, they can make the check. They can make an e-check online, and there's no fee. Appfolio doesn't charge for e-checks.
Watch yourself with that if they don't have a checking account.
Right.
Okay.
So I didn't put anything in writing. I guess I could just leave it like that.
You can leave it like that, but if anybody ever asks you if they can come into the office and tender you whatever, please take note. You have to have a way that doesn't charge them a fee, or what you're doing could be considered, you can get in trouble. No joke.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
Right. If somebody comes to you and they're like, I don't have a bank account, I deal with everything I do with cash and money order, then you can refer them that way. But you got to watch yourself, because there has to be a way that they can pay you that they don't have to pay a fee.
Okay, I have a question with that though.
Sure.
We haven't accepted cash at this office for a very long time.
Oh, I've never accepted cash. It's a bad business practice. It leaves too much error up to humans.
Yeah, so then if we don't accept cash and they don't have a checking account, they would have to bring a money order. And there's a fee, but
there's a fee for that. That's fine. That's fine, because they still, if they had a checking account, they wouldn't have to pay a fee. If nothing's stopping them from getting a checking account, then you're not discriminating.
Okay.
If they can't get a checking account because they're, and I don't know this, I'm just reaching for straws, okay? Because they're not legal in this country, then that's a problem.
How is that a problem?
If they can't get a checking account because they're not legal in this country, we can't discriminate against their citizenship. So you better have a way for them to pay you that doesn't charge them a fee.
Hey, Patty, any bank accepted ITN or TIN number, and they do take illegals with the TIN.
I know. I was just trying to give an example so that you guys understood. You have to give a way for them to pay that doesn't charge a fee. That's all. Okay, and I know they do. I know they give bank accounts to anybody.
It's a little bit of a gray area, because they would have, if they were to come and pay me, then they would have to pay me with a money order, and there's a fee. So I don't understand.
I got you. But you're not charging them a fee. They paid a fee to buy that money order, but they're not paying a fee to give you that money.
Oh, no, right. So if on the same token, if I say you can go to Pay Near Me and pay it in cash, they're gonna charge you a $2. I think it's $2.99 to be able to do that. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because they're charging you $2.99 to do that.
But aren't they charging you to get a money order?
They can go to a money order and buy a money order, but they have to be able to come hand it to you without having to pay a fee. You have to have a way for them to pay that doesn't charge them. Buying a money order is not what I'm talking about. When they come into you, you have to be able to have some way for them to pay that does not charge them a fee.
Okay, got it.
That's all I'm trying to get in everybody's head, because everybody wants to go all electronic, direct deposit. And let me say this, I love you for using Appfolio because you can shut off the portal. Our landlords that use Zelle and have the Zelle money come through, you can't shut that off unless you close your bank account.
Right.
So that becomes extremely challenging for landlords and the little guy in this business, because what happens is they're going through an eviction in the morning of trial, the tenant deposits $500 and shows the Zelle receipt to the judge. The judge says payment was tendered, case dismissed.
Right.
Zelle is bad. It is the worst thing out there because you cannot shut off the portal. You cannot turn it off so they can't deposit. And that's how Zelle gets you in trouble.
Yeah,
So thank you for using Appfolio because they do run a great program and you can shut that off.
Okay, great. Now, my second question, when you get a new client, like if you get new clients giving you new properties and you go and serve them a notification of like a change in management,
We call it a takeover letter.
a takeover letter. And
In other words, I'm now taking over as your landlord.
okay. Do you also, let me tell you, the letter that I used was from Agla. It was, here, what was it called?
I can keep
It
it
was
simple
the
for
debt-
you and tell you what information it has to have by law.
I gave them a declaration of service of notice. No,
Okay.
that's not. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm
That's a proof of service. So I know you didn't give that to them.
No. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry.
It's okay. So anytime you take over a property, either you're managing it or you just bought a new property and there's a tenant in possession, you have to notify them of the emergency line that they call in case they have a problem. You have to notify them of where they pay their rent to, and you legally have to notify them of where their deposit is. So those are the three things that have to be on there. They have to have a place to go, turn in letters and notices and so forth, a phone number to call in case of an emergency or a repair, and they need to know who has their security deposit. Those are the three things required in a takeover letter, okay?
Okay. Can you repeat that, please?
No problem. So in a takeover letter, you have to tell them, hi, I'm your new management company. My name is blank. If you have an emergency after hours or during business hours, here's our phone number to contact us. Here's our address so that you know where to pay the rent to. And we are holding your security deposit in the amount of blank, or the landlord has your security deposit and is holding it in the amount of blank.
Okay.
You got to tell them where their deposit went. That's the key.
And do we have to do a new rental agreement?
Nope.
Okay. Just as long as you give them the takeover letter.
Yep.
Okay.
It doesn't
right.
matter who's on that rental agreement. The rental agreement still controls as long as that tenant is still in possession. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay.
For the last of my question is, when we spoke last week, you told me, we talked a little bit about relocation fees.
Mhm.
And my question is, how are relocation fees established? Like if you had to pay somebody like 5 times relocation fee, how do you calculate a relocation fee?
You might not be able to calculate a relocation fee. It may be determined by the municipality that governs you, the city, the county, LARSO, whatever. So as an example, in the city of Los Angeles, if your tenant says that they're disabled, has minor children, the relocation fees are $23,000 per
Mhm.
door. Okay?
Mhm.
If you're still in the city of Los Angeles, but you have a single family residence, which is exempt from LARSO, you're still governed by somebody, trust me, and you may have to pay last month's rent as a relocation fee. So it is all determined on how much your relocation fees are by who governs you. Is it the city? Is it the county? Is it the state?
Got
Make
it.
sense?
Yep,
Okay.
makes sense. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much.
So as an example, the city of Inglewood is going to be much different than the city of Pasadena because they each have different rules. Fair enough?
Got it. Thank you.
Found out today, and I just want to go, what the what? Measure H, city of Pasadena. I looked up today because a landlord's husband passed away and she needs to move back into her property in Pasadena. She has to give a 6-month notice to move back into her own house. 6 months. Just saying, that's a lot, you guys. That is a lot. Why is it putting me in this screen? I don't even know what's going on. Okay, how do I get back to your guys' questions? Because I know there's more up there. Here we go. Here we go. I found that AGLA for, it's called a 30-day notice to pay rent or quit. I found the AGLA for its 30-day notice to pay rent or quit for use in unincorporated areas of LA County for rent move. I think I answered my question after finding and reading the form. Tony, I love you. My question is, are you asking for rents during the COVID pandemic? And you are, and you probably answered your own question. It's a 30-day if it was during COVID. And if they self-certified, you might have to wait a year before you do anything. What if we need a new rental agreement because the lease with the owners is 9 years old? Are you ready? Pay attention, here it comes. After reviewing your tenant file, I happened to see that your lease is really outdated and it doesn't have all the protections that you're entitled to written on it. So we'd like to have you sign a new rental agreement that has all those disclosures so you know what the rules are and what we're obligated to provide to you. So with that being said, can I email that over for you to look at? And then you sign it and return it to me, or would you rather come into the office? That way, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Did it work? Sold? Did that work? Are you happy? So that's how I handle it. Okay, that's what I do. I just kind of tell them, hey, what if they are in a exactly. So let's say they say, oh no, we're not signing a new written rental contract. There's a couple things you can do, but it depends on what city you're in. So those of you in LA, do not listen to this, okay? Not in LA, got it? Okay, now that all my LA people turn their ears off, here's what you do. You then, after they review it and they say, oh no, you know, we're not okay with this, blah, 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 whatever, or they don't talk to you about it and they never, then you can do a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy. And the terms that you're changing is the attached month-to-month rental agreement. You cannot use this as an opportunity to increase rents or increase deposits or have additional expenses to the tenant. No, 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 no. You got to keep like or similar terms. Okay. but that's how you do it. So 30-day notice to change of terms of tenancy and the attached written rental agreement is now the terms. Effective in 30 days.
And they don't have to sign it?
No, you force them to. You basically changed all the rules to read to that written contract. So instead of you writing out each provision, it's just the attached rental agreement controls, but you cannot raise the rent, raise the deposit. You can't use this opportunity to force them into a new contract by raising the rent or doing anything like that. It's unethical, maybe illegal too. So I've used this in an instance where the landlord has lost their written copy of the contract. Tenant's been in there for 15 years and just trying to state what the rules are. So that's how they combat that, okay? And do not do this in LA County, in the whole county of Los Angeles, without talking to your legal counsel first. I hope that helped. But yeah, that's how I do it. You know, I was looking through your case file and I can't believe how old your written rental contract is. It doesn't have any verbiage of all the rules that help protect you tenants. Remember, you're a dual agent. You got to be nice to both parties. So just play dumb and tell them, hey, I got to protect you. We need to sign this. We need to get this on file with all the protections. Your document's real old. I'm not saying when things get old, you need to get a new one because I'm old. Anybody have anything else? Hilda, I'm going to give you a number, okay? Are you ready? I know you can text me that you're ready. The number is 138, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
138. Do you know what number that is? I bet you do. I bet you do. All right. If nobody else needs anything else, I'm going to go eat my lunch. Oh, hang on. They've involved in shady stuff, even made the news. Owner is a ditz, to say it nicely. The tenants are agreeable to a higher rent and security deposit, but are not agreeable into signing a lease with us taking over. So put them on a month to month. And then tell them, oh, by the way, this is your new management company. Here's your takeover letter. All right, nobody has anything else? Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. If you guys need anything else, feel free to give me a call, hunt me down. You know how to do that. I'm gonna go eat my lunch. You guys have a wonderful week. Oh, I gotta tell you, in August, we're gonna have to switch a Wednesday. We're gonna have to do something because this girl right here, she going on vacation. So we're gonna miss a Wednesday, and I haven't missed too many Wednesdays for the past, what, 3 years now? You think I'm going to Italy, you guys? I'm going deep sea fishing in the Channel Islands at Oxnard. It's nothing fancy, but it affects a Wednesday. Not your typical girl. I don't want to go see the Eiffel Tower. I want to go pull up a halibut. Hi, my sister. I see you up there. Mwah.
Thank you. Great information, great presentation. Thank you for changing back to 12 noon. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. I'm just trying to help accommodate everybody. And this seems to be the time where we have the most activity. So I'm going to stick with it. And thanks for being patient with me while I tried something new.
We all love you. Thank you so much, Patty.
I love all you guys. You have no idea. I couldn't do any of this without you. All right, you guys have a great week. We will talk soon, I'm sure. Bye, everybody.